Good evening and welcome to the news roundup for Monday the 30th of September. Before we get into the news, please remember to like this video, share your views in the comments, and to share the video with your family and friends.
Reach them! Always make sure the message reach them!
Now for the news in detail. The Jamaica Constabulary Force has sought to clarify reports that have emerged linking an arrest by the police to the recent killing of a Jamaica Defence Force soldier in Denham Town. In a statement on Sunday, the constabulary said as follows: the JCF has taken note of reports circulating in both the social and mainstream media suggesting that a serving member of the JCF has been arrested in connection with the murder of JDF Private E.J. Domville. We wish to categorically state that these reports are false. No serving member of the JCF has been taken into custody in relation to this matter. As part of the investigation into the death of Private Domville, which occurred on Friday, August 23rd, detectives from the JCF have pursued several lines of inquiry. On Saturday, September 28th, at approximately 12:10 p.m., police apprehended a 31-year-old resident of Charles Street. It is important to clarify that this individual in question is not a serving member of the JCF. He was dismissed as a trainee from the force over 2 years ago following an unrelated incident. His apprehension occurred during the course of the investigation, but is not directly connected to the death of the JDF private. The JCF urges the public and media outlets to ensure that information is thoroughly verified before being disseminated. We remain committed to working closer with our partners in the JDF to bring this investigation to a swift and just conclusion. Men in St. Mary are increasingly coming forward to report that they are victims of domestic abuse. Statistics from the Domestic Violence Intervention Center in the parish indicate that between January and August this year, 38 men made reports. 93 reports were made by men in all of 2023. Head of the St. Mary Police Division, Superintendent Bobette Morgan Simpson, said the number for the remaining 4 months of 2024 is expected to increase as more and more men are coming forward. Her update followed a synopsis she provided to Prime Minister Andrew Holness last week.
We also have issues with domestic violence, and what we have found is that the numbers keeps fluctuating, but what we find interesting is that we have had the situation where domestic violence concern where the men is actually being abused, and we find that, yes sir, and we find that there are more men now willing to step forward to say that I'm being abused.
Very interesting.
Yes sir.
Meanwhile, Prime Minister Holness says his administration is closer to crafting an effective mechanism to deal with intimate partner violence and child abuse.
Now we really need to target intimate partner violence, domestic violence, child abuse, and all the other forms of violence that exist. It is time as a society that we speak with one voice against violence. Violence is not the accepted means of
Commissioner of the Independent Commission of Investigations, Hugh Faulkner, says the Commission has launched an investigation into the deaths of 3 people in custody in less than a week. Faulkner says the deaths occurred between September 23rd and 29th. 2 of the incidents happened at the Halfway Tree police station in St. Andrew.
In 2 of the 3 incidents, the deceased remandees were held at the Halfway Tree police station. On September 23, 2024, Mr. David Satchel, 59 years old, from Padmore District, St. Andrew, was reportedly found unresponsive in his cell. Mr. Satchel was transferred to the Kingston Public Hospital, where doctors on duty pronounced him dead. On September 27, 2024, Mr. Donovan Phillips, age 68, of a Beeston Street address, was reportedly observed to be in distress in his cell. Mr. Phillips was taken to the Kingston Public Hospital, where he was pronounced dead by the doctor on duty.
Faulkner says the 3rd incident occurred at a police station in Portland.
In the 3rd case, Mr. Patrick Perry, who on September 21, 2024 was remanded by the court and being held at the Buff Bay police station, was reportedly assaulted while in custody. That investigation is in progress. Mr. Perry, who was severely injured, was taken to the Anata Bay Hospital and later transferred to the KPH, where he succumbed to his injuries on September 29, 2024.
Meanwhile, Faulkner says over 20 charges have come as a result of investigations by INDECOM between the start of the year and September 19.
On conclusion of any investigative process, the requisite cases are submitted to the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions for a ruling. For the period January 1 this year to September 19 this year, 2024, the Director of Public Prosecutions has handed down rulings for charge in 22 cases investigated by INDECOM. These cases involve JCF officers, Department of Corrections officers, and JDF personnel.
Former wealth advisor at Stocks and Securities Limited, Jean Panton, is set to return to court on December 4 for a plea and case management hearing. Panton was remanded in custody when she appeared before the Supreme Court on September 20. Before that, her last court appearance was on May 27th. At that time, Panton's attorney, Sylvester Hemmings, highlighted several issues he was having with the quality and accessibility of documents provided by the Crown. This subsequently led to a directive from Chief Justice Brian Sykes outlining specific guidelines on how discovery must be conducted going forward. When the matter came up last Friday, the Crown gave its commitment to comply with the practice direction for disclosure issued by the Chief Justice. The court was also informed that the Crown and defense lawyers will be meeting on October 15 for general matters. For more than 2 weeks, there have only been empty classrooms at the St. Elizabeth Base Primary School, where a 7-year-old student was found in possession of a submachine gun. Teachers and students have stayed away, moving teaching and learning online out of fear after threats to harm people at the school and in the community were issued following the September 12th incident. The situation has worsened amid internet challenges plaguing several households in the St. Elizabeth community. It is understood that several students have been unable to attend online classes since the incident. In light of this, parents have been making attempts to transfer their children to other schools. Neither the affected school nor the community have been publicly named. The Child Protection and Family Services Agency has set the boys in state care. Reports are that efforts have been made by the authorities to have the educators return to physical school, but these have so far been unsuccessful. The St. Catherine North Police are reporting that they have recovered 40 guns so far this year. This is 6 more when compared to the corresponding period of January to September last year. The police indicated that the latest recovery happened this morning around 12:05 in Gravel Heights, Spanish Town. During a snap raid in the area, police personnel said a Smith & Wesson pistol affixed with a magazine containing 7.38mm rounds was recovered. No arrest has been made as investigations continue. The case against Shamoya Green, the St. James mother accused of throwing her infant daughter off a rooftop to her death last December, will be heard in the St. James Circuit Court on November 5th. Green is charged with the murder of her 5-month-old daughter, Destiny Brown. It is expected that a fitness and plea hearing will take place in the Circuit Court on November 5 to determine whether Green, who suffers from mental challenges and seizures, will be fit to stand trial. It is alleged that about 5:35 p.m. on December 6, 2023, Green was at home with her common-law husband and other family members when she tried to have a conversation with the man about their relationship. Green reportedly became enraged and left the room, taking baby Destiny with her. She then reportedly took the child to the roof of the 3rd floor of the family's house and threw her onto a concrete pit in the yard. The police were alerted and the Destiny was taken to hospital where she died while being treated. In business, Jamaica has established diplomatic relations with the Republic of Tunisia. This followed the signing of a joint communique by Jamaica's Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, Kamina Johnson-Smith, and her Tunisian counterpart on the margins of the high-level week of the 79th session of the UN General Assembly. Johnson-Smith says the move is an important step as it broadens Jamaica's diplomatic outreach, particularly within Africa. She says it is in keeping with the government's commitment to deepening ties with non-traditional partner countries on the African continent. The minister says the move also aligns with the government's strategic efforts to identify opportunities for enhancing trade and investment in support of the country's economic development. In their first bilateral discussion, the two foreign ministers welcome opportunities for cooperation at both the bilateral and multilateral levels, including in key areas such as tourism, education, and cultural exchange, while also advancing the shared goals of the UN Sustainable Development Agenda. Tunisia brings to 170 the number of countries with which Jamaica has established diplomatic relations. And that is it for your news roundup for today. We would appreciate you liking this video, leaving a comment, and sharing the video with your family and friends. Have a good evening and see you next time.